Hello and welcome to Opinions Plus. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about understanding yourself. Am I a good person? Am I a good person? Simple question. I think in most people's minds they would say yes. Yeah, I'm a good person. Nothing wrong with me or my actions or whatever. But then sometimes you have to make, you have to make decisions, and those decisions are not clear. And yet, many times you have to stand by those decisions. You have to be firm, even though you doubt the validity of them, you doubt the humanity of them, you doubt things about them. I go in many cases to the extreme examples because in most everyday life occurrences, not much happens that you have to do those kind of things. But those of us who have been to war, those of us who have made the decisions that you have to make in time of conflict and violence, and whether the violence in a war zone or in a domestic situation or whatever, you still have to make decisions. Horrible, horrible results. And the horrible result is what? That you've inflicted violence, pain, even death on some other person. Another thing. Some people have the same problems when they have to put their pets away. That, it's traumatizing. It's horrible. And you say, am I a good person? Can a good person do these kind of things? And again, it goes back to the whole concept of who you are across the board, not one isolated instance. And we have to look at that as well from ourselves. I've mentioned that to others. You can't just look at a person because they made a decision in one way, or said something in one way, or lied one time, or abusive verbally another time. But their whole life has shown that they're a decent person, that they strive towards decency and respect and honor. It's the patterns of their lives that tell most of what you are. Now, can you change? Yes. Can situations in life change you? I say yes. They can. They can alter your mood, they can alter your tolerance, they can alter many things about you. And you have to be aware that life is not kind or just fair in how it distributes these type of situations. I don't see any patterns in there. I do see that there are some people that have lived their lives without much cost or consequence. Now, the Buddhist philosophy, I hearken back to the Buddhist philosophy several times because I've been reading about them. And all things are fair because life is not fair. So when you make a decision, you make it based on your concept of what is being fair, your concept of what is being right. But through their use of meditation and introspection, you can find areas where you can balance these unfairnesses with what is fair and come out with a decent respect for yourself, an awareness of who you are. Now, of course, it's much deeper than that. You don't have a religion or a philosophic concept that's lasted thousands of years based on the little bit that I've just said. But it's an underpinning of how different perspectives look at things. And we are all part of those different perspectives. Many of us in America are Christian, or consider themselves Christian, or evangelical, or whatever. Now, the evangelicals at one time thought the Catholics were nothing, were no good, were immoral, it goes on and on. Everybody thought everybody was bad and we're the only good ones and all that. Well, and if you were a part of that, you were assisting in those biased, bigoted approaches to life. And let's say the church changes. You know, I was raised a Catholic. And when I was a young boy, you know, I couldn't attend any kind of Protestant or especially the ultra wing like Mormonism or anything. I couldn't attend any of those things without, you know, compromising my eternal life. It was a no, definite no. Things have changed. Well, how the heck could that happen? How does it change? Isn't there one way to be good? Isn't there one way to be honorable and decent? In my own lifetime, I've seen so much change that the change itself produces a confusion about ourselves. So when we look at things and ask a simple question, and it is a simple question, am I a good person? I think in the majority, most of us can easily, effectively say yes. But do I do bad things? Have I done bad things? Does that taint my eternity? Does it taint my being here, even if you don't believe in an eternal spirit? You know, because I think it does. As individuals, you cannot not be affected by the things that you've done. The past has impact. I use the word scars. There are scars in people that have caused them to respond in ways that they may not ordinarily respond, because these scars are not completely healed. They're not the new skin. They're an old repair, and those things are less likely to be fully healed. And yet you get certain situations which create a impact, a stress on those scars, emotionally, physically, spiritually. They're scars. And they have to be addressed. You have to recognize that you have some of these things. What can you do about it? Of course, that always comes up. What can you do? What can you do? Well, in my estimation, there's not a lot that you can do. You know, there's no buttons you can push. There's no one way to do it. But you have to truly believe that you're doing the right thing when you do things. That you're acting reasonably within the context of your own personal beliefs. And you also have to understand, in many cases, that those personal beliefs can change. Have they changed? In my life, I've changed things. Does that mean what I did in the past under one set of beliefs is wrong, and the thing I do in the future in one set of beliefs is wrong? I don't think so. I don't believe so. Because your intent, your being, your hope, your view of yourself, why you do the things you do when you do them, is based on a core belief that you're going to the good, that you are good. And when you say, am I a good person? You can say, yes, I am a good person. And you also can add the caveat, I am flawed. Because I may be a good person, but I am not a perfect person. I am just a person with nothing that guides me except the spirit that's within me, my view of who I am. Now, as a Christian, you have the light of Christ. It guides the Holy Spirit and all these other factors that get into people's concept of what makes them good. Well, I've had this problem before where, people say, well, if you sin, you lose the spirit. Well, if you lose the spirit, where's your hope? What's happening to you then? So there's so many issues within these bounds of what our belief structures are, that little clips like this cannot address them all. And I only use it to stimulate the thinking about who you are to make your life better in the future. You can't do anything about the past. The past is done except learn from it. But you don't have to push yourself down. You don't have to demean yourself because of a past action. You can learn from it. And if you think you need forgiveness for it, you ask forgiveness for it. If you acted righteously under an awareness of what you believe is righteous indignation, is the right action, then you live by that. Can you change your position? Of course you can. There's nothing in the humankind, and it's just obvious everywhere you look, that people change everything and anything because they want to. And if you've got the glib tongue, you can change it 100 times, and nobody calls you on it because you've got the answers, you've got the savvy, you skid around it. But that's not being honest, I don't think. That's being manipulative. And if you are a manipulative person, if you're moving people just to, create your own Benny, your own environment that's happy for you, supposedly, does that make you a good person because you believe in yourself? I guess one could argue that. But in the reality of the world, good is not that. And that is the one constant. And I guess I focus on this clip after clip. But the good is the one constant we need to strive for. The understanding, the focus, no matter how you define it, you're going to define it in a positive way because it is good. So are you a good person? I would say yes. Have you done bad things? I would say yes. Are you going to do bad things? I would say that's a good chance. Are we all perfect? No. Can we be perfect? I don't think so. If you can, great. But I don't think so. But if you strive, constantly strive to the good, you say to yourself, am I a good person? Yes. Do I make bad decisions? On occasion, yes. But in the majority, no. In the majority, they're good decisions because I am striving for the good. Am I a good person? Yes. Therefore. Can anybody talk around this? Of course they can. It's easy. These are all open-ended thoughts. But I want you to think about it. I want you to believe in it because you're the one that has to make the decisions for the future, not only for yourself, but for me. You affect me, no matter where you are. And I affect you. And it's a synergistic relationship. It's called society. And it works. It works to the betterment. And it works to the betterment as long as people stop looking to the self and go to the good. Because good can contain your self-interest. They can. Good doesn't mean just give away everything. Because you would have nothing to give. What more could you give? You give it all away. So you have to make something to give something. Common sense, decency, critical thinking, go to the good, keeping hope alive. That's the way we look at life. Are you a good person? Yes, you are. Thanks for listening. If you want to subscribe, please do. And if you think it has some value to someone, pass it on. Send the link on, hit the like button for whatever that thing does, and because they say it on every clip, and comment. Always comment. And it's not just to me, it's to anybody who's viewing this. Comments are everywhere. You impact yourself as well as others. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. And you are good. We are good people in the main. I have to add, my last thing, are there bad people, that just do bad things? I'm afraid I have to say yes, there are. But that's the very minority of people. It's not the majority of people. It's not the main at any stretch, but they do the worst harm. Minorities cause the most problem. Trust yourself. Trust in your goodness. Trust in the quality that you have in your life. Trust. Thank you.